Well, good morning, good morning. Yeah, and my favorite rash guard. By the way, my mom got this for me. I get so many compliments on it, and I have to say thanks, Mom, for this super cool rash guard. Which is funny because it's like a youth. She originally got it for my daughter who's only 4, and I'm like, well, I can fit into it. This is meant to be. All right, so I'm just gonna do a hairstyle I've already done before, which is the braided mohawk, and then I'm gonna put it up into a bun. But whilst I'm doing that, I kind of want to talk about something that someone brought up to me because I thought it was super interesting. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the braided mohawk, okay? Doing our parts on either side, right? But yeah, the thing that someone brought up was about weight cutting and jujitsu. So it was like, do I weigh in for, do I compete at the weight that I'm currently at, or do I plan to lose weight for it? How much weight do I plan to lose for it? That type of stuff. So if you see what I'm doing here, top mohawk, this is the part that I'm gonna braid. Everything else is just gonna go back into a ponytail. I know, it's like having 2 conversations at once. Like I said, I've already done this one, so if you want a little bit more in-depth detail, you can just go back to my older video. But, so talking about weight cutting and jujitsu, especially if you're a lady, I just talked about this yesterday actually, was how much your cycle is gonna change how well you can cut weight. So this last this last competition that I did, I had my period literally the day of competing, which is fine. I can still do everything the way that I need to, obviously, because I won. But it does make the weight cutting part a little bit more irritating than it needs to be, right? So normally I would be able to drop, that last 2 pounds super easy. But because I had my period, my body really, really held on for dear life to those last 3 pounds. And it made it a little bit more difficult for me to lose it. I think what I'm gonna do is next time maybe experiment more of going an extra day without salt, and then see if that kind of helps a little bit more. But whatever. Yeah, so what weight, how do you decide what weight to do weight class wise? So really it depends on a few things. So is this your first competition, right? First competition, I don't want to say don't expect to win, but you're going in it as an experience, right? So you're trying to feel it out, kind of see what to expect, see how it is. By the way, it's a lot of waiting. So just be prepared for that. It's a lot of nervous energy, a lot of anxiety. So just kind of go into it. You got to have a good mindset going into a competition. I really wouldn't worry too much about weight cutting for your first competition, at least until you know what your strengths are, what you want to focus on, and then also where you're weakest, right? So, what was it? A few years ago, I did a competition where this lady was super strong. She, it's not a dig on her at all, of oh, she only won because she was so strong. No, she knew how to, she was technically in my weight class, right? We were both, I think it was a 150 competition. But yeah, we we're both the same weight class. Guys, out please, get out.
No,
Go.
not cereal for cereal.
Oh, well, I'll get you some more. Just get out please, thank you. Oh, kids. Okay, so what I was talking about was it was the world no-gi competition, and I had just had a kid, and so I was I want to get back into the competing scene. I'm just gonna go with the world. So I competed in that, and this lady was so good. She for one, I had no idea about like rule sets and, you know, like racking up points and stuff, because I'm like a submission only girl, right? So I do a lot of like go for the submission and then you don't have to worry about points. And so like my whole mindset was, oh, you don't have to worry about, you know, mount 4 point, like don't even have to care about that because I'm gonna submit her. It's gonna be amazing. That's like a UFC fighter saying like, oh, I don't have to worry about groundwork because I'm just gonna knock him out. It's like, it's not. That's like, sure, an ideal situation, but it's not gonna happen. Yeah, so she, this lady like literally laid on top of me in side control for like 6 minutes. And when the competition was done, it was like I got 2 points for a takedown, which was a double leg I was super excited about. And then she had 16 points. Like, it was very humiliating, but I realized I had to work on how to get out of side control. So that was like a cool learning experience. Obviously it didn't go the way that I wanted it to. As my coach now says, it was a very expensive t-shirt because they give you a t-shirt. Yeah, by the way, I'm done with my hair. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So yeah, like first competition, don't really worry about like weight cutting. You're really just trying to like feel out the game, kind of see where you're at, and you really don't want to add an extra stressor of trying to like lose weight. Once you get like more competitions under your belt, once you get more competitions, you'll kind of be able to feel like, okay, you know what, I really, you know, I like walking around at like 155. I compete at 150. I really feel like it wouldn't be that much of a, you know, a challenge to lose an extra 5 pounds, drop down to that next weight class of 145, right? Once you get into like losing like the 15 to 20 pounds, like from your normal walking around weight, that's kind of when you get into the questionable area of like, okay, you still like, you want to still be the strongest you can be, and obviously you want to be at the top of your weight class for, you know, whatever your limit is. But I don't know where I'm going with this. I lost my train of thought. So you don't want to like lose all of this weight. Like, I could technically get down to 135, right? But if I'm super depleted, like I could be the heaviest of my weight class in 135, right? But if I'm like super depleted and I'm not as strong and I'm losing my lean body mass, then it really, like, I should stay at the higher weight class where I can be stronger. So as I said, like you'll start realizing what that competition weight that you feel comfortable, where you're the strongest, but also like the healthiest at the same time. Also think that like the more weight you're gonna like cut off of yourself, the more likely you're gonna set yourself up for injury, because you're depleting your body. You're not gonna be able to recover accurately. And so it kind of might set you up for that happening. I think that's pretty much it. Like, obviously have fun. Like, jiu-jitsu's fun, right? I had the most fun out of any competition I've ever had this past one, but I think it was because I went in with a game plan. And I, you know, being a lady, I don't really have as many competitors in what I want to compete in, which is a 150 no-gi, right? So like, I fucking love no-gi. But nobody does no-gi. I had like one other person in my no-gi class, or my no-gi weight class. The other person ended up dropping out because of a knee injury. But like, I was just like, well, I only have like 2 people that I'm going to be rolling against. I might as well roll in gi. Yeah, I never trained in it, but you know what? Let's just go there. Let's have fun. You know what? Let's do absolute too. So I was in 3 different weight classes, or 3 different like categories, in order for me to get 8 fights, which is the normal amount of fights for one guy in one weight class. So it's almost like an advantage that like, hey, you can do 3 different weight classes and get the same amount of fights, kind of like challenge yourself of you know, these different categories of fighting. Whereas like the guys at my weight class, you know, they have to limit themselves. Like, okay, do I want to do gi or do I want to do no gi? I'm not going to do both and get 16 fights. You know, like you can, but that's like super challenging. But yeah, let me know what you think if you guys have any experience in competing or what you feel is like the best amount of weight to cut for grappling competitions. And I'm gonna go and train how to kill people and stuff. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.